My two favorite genres of fiction are a bit at odds. I absolutely love romance, funny enough. It's just so cool to see and feel the journey of love, including all the ups and all the downs. But my other favorite genre is actually horror. I have a fascination with darkness in storytelling. I'm addicted to how the world of someone else's mind can make me feel scared or thoughtful of the supernatural. And because of that, the world of my books is admittedly pretty dark. It's why I also love thrillers. There are levels to this, though. Horror and thrillers are multifaceted, so too must be my characters and the terror that they revel in. Speaking of which, I truly appreciate it if you could check out my fantasy books available on my website. If every person subscribed to this channel bought just one book, I'd be able to fund a complete set of audiobooks for those of you who just want to listen, and be able to commission some more beautiful art for you guys as well. Link for my website down below if you're interested. Plus, I want to have a back and forth with you guys because I think it's really cool that you're all a part of this community. So if you've read my books and want to chat about them, give reviews, or ask questions, or even critiques, send a message to bloodofonceblood@gmail.com. Link down below for that as well. Now, to jump into the books themselves, some of the most basic but still relatable thrillers are centered on the relationship between a parent and a child. A great recent example of this is A24's Bring Her Back. Having to share the space with someone who's abusive, someone who doesn't actually care for you, that's terrifying. That's the heart and soul of two of my favorite characters actually, Stevrin Hagar and Carver Hagar. My fifth book, Imperious, centers around their terrible relationship. Stevrin is a powerful lord who controls a whole country, but that's not enough for him. In order to get more power, he is willing and planning to behead his son Carver, all to appease the Emperor. And this comes as no surprise to Carver. He knows what kind of monster his father is. So to protect himself, he's trained himself to kill anyone he needs to. I think there's a special type of darkness in storytelling when a parent doesn't truly love their own child. It's this uncanny valley where love is supposed to be, but only where manipulation and abuse ends up existing. I think even from childhood, these types of darker stories are told to us, but though maybe a bit concealed, so I'm happy to be able to explore them in my own writing now. And keeping with familial themes, I love dark psychological thrillers where the immoral parent or authority figure is actually mentoring the child. Think of Whiplash.
Count again.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference!
Fletcher is a twisted perfectionist and sees the potential Neiman has, but can only bring it out through abuse, both emotional and physical. Neiman knows this is wrong, knows that Fletcher is a cruel bastard, but he can't stop because he wants greatness just as much as Fletcher. This macabre relationship and others are the inspiration for my fourth novel, Seeds of Shadows. Anthuria Greenview, seen here looking appropriately witch-like, is actually the matriarch of a nationwide criminal syndicate, and she's looking for an heir. While she hoped it would be one of the younglings from her very powerful noble family, she eventually realizes that the person to succeed her is a visitor, a kindly 12-year-old son of another powerful noble. Over the course of a decade and more, Anthuria trains this little boy in the ways of deceit, murder, and manipulation, hoping to turn him into a man that could etch his name in history. Their dynamic is a bit like the opposite of The Godfather. Vito tried to keep Michael from a life of crime, but here, Anthuria is pushing Donovan towards it. There are few things more interesting to me than the loss of innocence, but one of them might be the pursuit of greatness and all the sacrifice that comes with it. Exploring what you're willing to give up and what can be taken from you is sometimes the darkest stories of all. And that's what I love and explore in Seeds of Shadows. Many people say it's my best work, but I guess that's for you guys to decide. Still, horror isn't just about relationships. Sometimes the characters of a good horror cannot be sympathized with or even understood. Navigating around insanity may be one of the most tried and true horror dynamics, especially when that insanity has power over you. This concept is investigated in my upcoming book, By Right of Conquest, through the crazed Emperor Supreme Arnakion Thalidamus. His lunacy and paranoia have caused him to sew his crown into his head with steel wire, coat his teeth in sharp metal, and put a Tektite crystal in his face so that he might always have one eye open. Many of my characters are forced to stay in his castle and abide by his commands, which of course become more and more deranged and dangerous as the stresses of a civil war weigh on him. The only thing keeping Arnakion even slightly tethered to reality is his son, Prince Medius. But Medius is off fighting that civil war in order to keep his family in power, which means no one is around the castle to check the crazed emperor. The darkness he invites onto those around him will haunt the realm for ages. And I've been inspired by horror not just in the immediate events of my books like I've been explaining, but in the lore as well. Oftentimes, fantasy will co-opt horror, and one of my favorite ways is when a dark power seduces a hero into becoming something that they no longer recognize. This is exactly what happens to Einar Thane. He felt that those with talents and powers were oppressing those without, so he rose up in rebellion against the emperor. But as the war proved more difficult than he expected, dark voices started offering him advice and power. Eventually, the shadows granted him a trident made of black and crimson crystal, a sinister weapon that could take away talents and powers. And so Einar slew the emperor and took his crown. But the whispers from the shadows were hungry for more death. The war could not end. So Einar, now Emperor of the North, sanctioned the murder of anyone with talents. As with so many cautionary tales, he had become the very thing he wished to destroy. Far across the sea, I had to indulge in yet another classic fantasy horror, though this one a bit more traditional: vampires. Or at least my version. I can't tell you how much I really love vampires. Underworld is a super underrated, super fun series, so I had to include at least one in my world. Known across history as the Black Bat, Balthazar was a man who struck fear in the hearts of nobles and peasants alike. Some say he would drink the blood of maidens to maintain eternal youth. Others say he could transform into any of the night creatures in the forests of Thrannen. And a few even have said that he slept with witches and fathered demons. But only one thing is known for sure. He commanded a colossal, jet-black grand bat that could drain men dry through their armor. Balthazar is a bit like my version of Dracula, a legend that can take on many forms, and I'm excited for you guys to see more of him in the future. But now we come to what might be the most important application of horror. It's not psychological, it's not dastardly men, it's true, unadulterated monsters. One such, like you are seeing here, is the Leviathan, a terrifying abomination from the crumbling rock. Keen-eyed watchers will see some clear inspiration from Alien's xenomorphs, along with the Muto from Godzilla, though I still put in my own twists. This monstrosity appears in my upcoming book, By Right of Conquest. It might be the only thing that can go toe-to-toe with a dragon. Beyond that, though, is my creme de la creme, the eldritch existential horror. These are the chants that come at nightfall. These are the spirits that haunt at the corner of your vision. This is the most feared cult in my world, the Void. Each member is in some state of undeath, not quite alive, but not quite deceased. Their sheer existence is an affront to reality, and the longer they unlive, the more cosmically uncertain they become. The laws of nature, physics, and logic do not apply to them. The Void is only concerned with rendering all things that exist into nothingness. Much like the White Walkers, the Void stands as the magical, existentially threatening backdrop to my stories, and the most overt horror elements across all of my narratives. I truly cannot wait to show them and the rest of my dark and foreboding creatures to you in detail. Again though, if you want to see them, you're going to have to purchase a book. It would be great support, and you can find them at savagebooks.net. I'll put a link down below. It would honestly mean the world to me, not just because I want to have the money to be able to continue putting out content for this channel, but because I genuinely like sharing my stories with anyone and everyone. Please also leave a comment and subscribe, ask questions to become engaged, and I can try to answer them as much as I can. As always, it was a pleasure, and I'll talk to you all again soon.